yeah, I think as entrepreneurs, you think opening up your books to your employees can be detrimental because they're going to see how much money you're making. But a lot of times they think you're making a lot more than you're making. And when you show them, hey, these are our expenses, then they're like, oh, wow.
How do you allow your frontline employees to have the necessary information to make the right decision? And how are you training them to be able to make effective decisions when you're not necessarily present? And so I learned through that experience that you really had to arm your frontline employees with the data that they needed in addition to the skills in order to make decisions on their feet, right? Rather than saying it.
So how do you do that? So like tactically speaking, like how do you arm them with the data and the skills that they need to make the decisions?
So I think first and foremost, like what are your objectives as an organization, as a DSO? So most DSOs, they're looking to maintain some degree of obviously profitability, right? Because they want to exist and be able to support other clinicians if they're not profitable. So, with a lot of groups, I've noticed there's a lack of visibility on a P&L on the part of the hygienists and the dentists. And the argument that maybe a DSO will make is that, they're not capable of perhaps analyzing the numbers that we do, or, we don't want them to necessarily know the P&L, right? We just want them to focus on patient care. And so the way I look at it is if you want to obtain, if you want that person to act like an owner, they have to have the same information as the management does. And so you can say to them, hey, don't buy that handpiece or that equipment, right? If they have no idea what your profit margin is, or why you're asking for them to cut expenses, right? Or in many cases, I discovered, and you'll appreciate this, a lot of the dental office employees, team members, don't know how much rent the owner's paying, particularly when the clinic gets affiliated with a DSO.
Yeah.
So that's
They just see the top line revenue and they think, oh, they're making all this money, but they don't realize all the expense. A lot of times they underestimate the actual expenses that they have. So yeah, I think as entrepreneurs, you think opening up your books to your employees can be detrimental because they're going to see how much money you're making. But like a lot of times they think you're making a lot more than you're making. And when you show them, hey, these are our expenses, then they're like, oh, wow.